It has been a devastating and tragic month in the state of Indiana. At least 7 weather-related fatalities have happened since last Tuesday, and video of the flood damage really incredible. The largest waterway in the Hoosier State, the White River, overtopped its banks, cresting at record levels across numerous flood gauges.
And even before this, we can't forget where the story began for the state of Indiana. We had a derecho last Tuesday, August 11th. That storm knocking out power to thousands in northern Indiana. And a week later, damage, it remains. In fact, tens of thousands of people in Gary are still without power this morning. Our colleagues at Fox 32 Chicago were in Gary yesterday.
Being here 40 years, I would say this is the worst.
What has it been like having no power for almost a week?
It's been rough. I can't sugarcoat that. You have food in your refrigerator, and if you have children, you buy more. And not having power for almost a week, the food is no good.
This morning, we do have Indiana Governor Mike Braun joining us here on Weather Command. And Governor, appreciate you taking the time. I know it's been a very busy stretch across your state. I mean, from the derecho to kick things off to the flooding, this has truly been a historic time for the state of Indiana. I guess my first question is, how is your state holding up? And also, I mean, just your reaction to all of the weather that we've had across the state.
So Hoosiers are a resilient bunch, and since we could see this coming as it was working its way from the west, Illinois, hit Gary, Indiana with nearly 100-mile-an-hour derecho straight-line winds, and then impacted about 4 or 5 other counties before it took a fairly sharp turn to the southeast. And then there were 7 or 8 counties, maybe more rural in nature, where the 6 to 12 inches of rain came in just a few hours. So a little town called Cambridge City, I was there on Thursday. I was in Hammond Wednesday, the morning after. It looked like hurricane damage. We had 2 small tornadoes, and their impact relatively minor because of the wide swath of those straight line winds. 300,000 plus homes without power. It's down to about 90.
Or is that you when you get?
Looks like
No, that's not me.
Yeah, we had a little bit of audio, but I think we're okay though now.
Well, Governor, we heard you had mentioned 300,000 homes without power, and then we lost you. Are you able? There has been some power restoration, but as we heard from Fox 32 in the report, some people are still without. About how many across the state are without power right now?
So if you can hear me, it's roughly around 93,000, mostly in Lake County, a few in Porter. But we've had all agencies. I mobilized the National Guard when I was in Hammond and got that brief look from Hobart up to Hammond. And then NIPSCO has gotten other utilities to help. It's just that we've never had that kind of widespread damage in recent times. And then the flooding downstate was as bad as it's been in 100 years for counties there. And then the headwaters moved through the most populated part of the state, Hamilton and Marion counties, and now it's mostly downstream crested. It's impacting more rural areas, but it's been that kind of an event. But we've had local resources, responders doing a great job. Folks need to call in to 211. Red Cross. I got the president on the line last Saturday to make it an emergency declaration. We're now doing the assessment to see if that can be taken to a major declaration, which brings in a lot of federal resources. Families have up to $5,000 of help for food, clothing, and housing from the state already. So I've really been pleased with reacting to it, but we've not seen something like this in many, many years.
It's true, and you have been governor for just a little more than a year. You grew up in Jasper, Indiana, in South Central Indiana. I was checking in on the Patoka River. That one looks okay. The White River is the big concern here. One follow-up with the power, because our Chelsea Torres is in Indianapolis, and she was talking to a resident there saying that some of the power has been turned off because of the flooding, because of a preventative measure. It is a completely different story in Northwest Indiana. Is some of the wind damage that was done there so intense that it is leading to this prolonged stretch. I think back to notable weather events, ice storms, Indiana prone to ice storms. You can be without power for 7 to 10 days, even 2 weeks. Is it the damage that's so severe that's taking some time to get about a third of those customers back online?
It is. And you compare it to a hurricane, and the closest thing we have to a hurricane is a derecho, and those winds were like 100 miles an hour as it entered Indiana in Lake County. Lake County got hit the hardest, Porter next to it, and then LaPorte County east of Porter, and then a few counties below. The winds let up a little bit as it moved southeast, but we had over 50 of our 92 counties impacted. The southwest and the northeast would have been the areas of the state that roughly 40 some counties that weren't impacted much at all. But that is over half our state. I can't recall that ever happening. Generally, we're tornado prone. It's going to impact a few counties concentrated in the damage. This was more like a hurricane hitting with hurricane type flooding and rainfall down in the southeast central part of the state.
Yeah, it's been wild to see. From north to south, it's been really difficult this month to escape some of the severe weather. And I think for so many, that historic flooding that we saw over the weekend. We were speaking yesterday to the mayor of Carmel, Indiana, who said she had been canoeing in the White River and had to portage. So, lift up your canoe and walk. And then we saw quite literally the White River carve its own path. Yeah. When it comes to the infrastructure, there's one bridge in particular we continue to see where it was just completely shattered and broken apart. That timeline for being able to get something of that magnitude back up, what is would you say the timeline for, I guess, this is one of them.
I think that's the Hazeldale Bridge,
Hazeldale
right,
Bridge, yes.
So pictures like that, obviously that's going to take a lot of time. I-70, one of the busiest interstate stretches, had 125 feet washed away, not involving a bridge. We fixed it in 2 days, literally right after the pavement was taken out. It depends on what it is. Carmel, you spoke of. There was a quarry, billions of gallons of water diverted into it kind of as a temporary holding tank, redirected the direction of where water was going. All kinds of peculiarities, but it rained intensely in about 7 more rural counties. A lot of the displacements and damage downstream around Indianapolis, Carmel, Noblesville, Hamilton County. Good news is the water has crested through all of those areas. We can get in and take a look at it. There were a couple thousand homes without electricity. Many of those homes where the flood damage hit, they won't be able to be moved back into. That's what we're assessing currently. States activated its resources. The feds did what they could amazingly quickly. Now we're waiting on, do we meet the threshold for a major declaration? We're in touch with FEMA and the White House daily. Hopefully we'll get that assessment done by the end of this week, and power will be fully restored up in the Northwest.
By this week. Okay, I was going to ask about that. Hopefully that does happen. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time. And I also don't want to lose sight that not only was this catastrophic in some instances, but also there was loss of life here, 7 lives out of the state of Indiana, and one of those being a child. So our thoughts are with those families, and we appreciate you again taking time out of what I know is a very busy stretch for the state of Indiana. Governor Mike Braun with Indiana, thank you so much.
You bet.